Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Welcome to the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 48, coming to you from the desolate wastelands of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're recording on June 23rd, and I am your host, Elric Edge, and with me is...
Your co-host, Bill, the Saurus Guard.
Nice. So yeah, this is episode number 48, take 2.
Yeah.
Hopefully with, this is the low sodium version.
Yes.
Of our recording.
Much less sodium. Yeah.
So, yeah, what all we got lined up today?
Well, we got a ton of stuff. We're going to talk about the contests that we're going to be running. We figured out a method to do the contests. We're going to give away the rules voucher that we talked about on the Facebook page with the glass full of dice.
Yep.
We're going to talk about a giveaway for the next show, which is something that has not been seen in the wild yet. And we're going to do some shout outs in the intro, but when we get to the lore section, we're going to do something kind of interesting. You put out a tweet asking for ideas for what to talk about that isn't AOS 2.0.
Yeah, there's a lot of other shows that are doing 2.0 coverage. Some of them are doing very in-depth 2.0 coverage. So I just figured it'd be pretty redundant for us to sit here and...
To do it again.
Do it again. So I just asked people, what is it that you want to hear right now? And we got quite a bit of feedback for it. So
I got a lot of good questions, really. Yeah. So that's what we'll cover in lore. We got a little bit for New Dawn. It's we'll talk about that when we get there. A little bit on creation. We're going to do something new in creation. And in the realm of the contests, we have decided, and want to thank Doug over at 2+ Tough YouTube channel for sending out a great idea for how to run the contest for our 50th episode. We wanted to do something to reward our Patreons as well as everybody else.
Right.
So our contest is rather simple. We're going to give away a brand new shrink wrap copy of Space Hulk, the board game, and a brand new shrink wrap copy of Warhammer Silver Tower.
Right.
The way the contest is going to work is this. The first drawing that we're going to do is solely from our Patreon sponsors because they send us money. And from that, we will pick a winner and contact that person and find out which of the two prizes they want. We will then ship that off to them. The remaining prize will go out to everyone else, which will include the Patreon guys too. And the way you're going to get into that contest is by accruing votes. You're going to get votes by either using the Twitter hashtag, which is hashtag RB50th, RB50TH. That'll get you a single vote. Or you can go and like our Facebook page, which will get you a single vote. And if you've already liked it, it counts.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to start, unlike it, and then like it again.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do that. Or if you want to get 2 votes, you can leave us a good review on... Well, okay, leave us a good review. Let's buy reviews.
Right.
No, you can leave us a review on iTunes, any kind of review, to be honest, but don't be hurtful.
Yeah. We're very sensitive.
We are.
These snowflakes melt quick.
That's correct. That's why the air conditioner runs all the time.
Yeah. A nice balmy 60 degrees in here.
So quite literally, you could end up with 4 votes all to yourself if you go on Twitter and use the hashtag RollingBad50th. If you like our Facebook page and give us an iTunes review, you could end up having 4 votes for the remaining prize. So for episode 49, we'll give away the Patreon. We'll do the Patreon draw. And then on the big episode 50, we'll do the other draw. And someone will win a prize. And we'll cover shipping. We'll send it out to you. It might hurt when that guy I don't know. We have a listener in Madagascar. So
We do.
When he wins, we will... we'll probably go broke, but we'll do it.
How are we going to get it to the guy in North Korea?
Oh,
we'll have Dennis Rodman take it for us.
Yeah.
There you go.
You just have Trump do it. He's good there now. Oh, we are so bad. Yeah. That's how the big Rolling Bad 50th episode contest is going to go down.
Sounds good.
Do we want to do the glass full of dice contest now? Do we want to announce the winner?
Yeah, let's go ahead and
Let's do it in the intro.
Let's do it.
All right, we won't make you wait.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're a good guy. So, we had the Facebook contest with the dice, glass full of dice.
Yeah.
Thank God I can edit that. And the winner, the person who got the closest, the actual count of dice was 169. And the person that came closest to it, if you scroll through the Facebook post right now, you'll see it was Chuck Moore. Yay!
Yeah,
Chuck
old
Moore.
Chuck.
He was, if you don't know who Chuck Moore is, he was the herder of cats that put together the AOS community package.
Yep.
So well done, Chuck. I will get your your snail mail address from you, and I will shoot that thing out priority mail today so that you can do whatever at your local Games Workshop store.
Sounds good.
Yeah. One other thing in the intro I wanted to do was I wanted to send a shout out to Doug Griggs over at the 2 Plus Tough YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
He did a whole series of videos this week, and his last lore videos for version 1 of AOS were out this week, and he did Seraphon. So naturally I was watching each one of them, and when we got to Wednesday and he was talking about the Saurus portion of the list, and he used an example Saurus guard that might be conjured up by a Slann, and well, of course, his name was Bill, the Saurus guard.
Nice.
So that's why that happened. Thanks, Doug. You made me feel so good about myself.
Yeah.
And we also have a new Patreon. A new sponsor. Tristan Gray sent us money. So thank you, Tristan. You're now
thank you very much.
in the short list of people who get a chance at a copy of whatever you want. So I think the intro's done.
What's that?
I think the intro's done. Anything else in the intro?
I don't believe so.
We can move on to New Dawn.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
The Realm of the New Dawn. Where not a whole lot to talk about. We're in the second week of pre-orders for Soul Wars and all of that. So, yeah, man, I don't really know of anything.
I think there was like one new thing that went up for pre-order, and I think it was a novel, a Black Library novel, not even a item.
So,
this is the calm before the storm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or Stormcast.
I thought maybe they'd sneak in like a little 40K
like
release or something. Yeah. And then I have not heard anything really. Cubicle 7 put out a pretty in-depth review of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition.
Right.
Talking about like how statistics work in the game as far as like character stats and stuff. If you're interested in role-playing in the old world, which, you know, we're definitely interested in. I think we're more interested in the Age of Sigmar side, but the old world is definitely a cool place to run around and get gangrene and die as a rat catcher.
Hey, my best character was a rat catcher.
Yeah. Nothing quite like being a peasant as a class and expected to fight a 12-foot tall minotaur or something like that. That should work out real well for you.
It didn't. It didn't usually.
Yeah. I mean, if you're interested in the video game stuff, I know Inquisitor Martyr is getting a lot of
it's getting a lot
hype
of traction.
Going. Yeah, it should be out here in just a few weeks for the PC, and then the console version got pushed back.
Well, I think Martyr you can already get on Steam.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the console version should just be right around the corner.
That's the one that was delayed.
Yeah, very excited about that. Oh, man, I think that's about it. I can't really think of anything else.
Well, I mean, not from the flagship. No, there's not.
Oh,
I mean, they literally dropped nothing.
Here's a little blip. Did you see that Saint Celestine cosplay?
Oh my! With the automatic wings,
with the
that
wings
went out?
that unfurled.
Oh my Lord!
I don't know how we can. It's on Twitter. It's all over the place. If you just Google Saint Celestine cosplay, it is most absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, the girl who's rocking it, I mean, the hair is perfect. Even the facial expression is perfect. She's deadpan.
Yeah, and the armor is so intricate. It's when gorgeous. I saw that, I was like, damn.
And when she steps out and she raises her hand and the wings unfurl, it's just...
But she looks just like the model.
Yeah.
Like if she was flying and had like scroll work and doves flying from her.
You would go,
okay. It's pretty fantastic stuff. So
that was amazing.
Shout out to that. But,
for sure.
So they're doing this Hammerhall Herald thing. And it's like... It's basically if you were looking through a People magazine or something set in the mortal realms.
Ads and what have
you. Yeah, and they're really funny.
I think it's like that, the Imperial Guard thing they're doing for 40K.
Oh, the infantryman's uplifting primer or whatever.
Yeah, the kind of online one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of this for AOS where they're having different little
some pretty funny
little
stuff
advertisements. I think it's going to be cool as they go down the road with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Herald.
Duncan's night video.
Oh, the Renegade Night video.
The community team is writing some good stuff.
Well, and what's awesome is they're looking and poking fun at themselves.
Yeah.
When he sits up there and he's like, "I'm a meme, damn it.
Yeah.
I'm two thin coats."
And then in the middle of his sentence, it cuts out, "I'm Chris Peach, and I'm going to talk to you about how to make chaos nice." Yeah, it's pretty good.
So, which is something we should probably announce is that they did release a 8-page PDF so that you can run Chaos Imperial Knight. Well, all right, Chaos Knights with all of your Imperial Knight stuff. So all the rules for the Armigers, the big Castellans, or the Dominus class. So if you want to run the other side Knights, you certainly can now. It's free. It's right there.
Free.
You just go and grab the download.
Yeah.
And it has the point cost, everything you need. So
don't worry, Chaos players will still find something to complain about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they will. I'm sure. Well, why did it take 2 weeks to come out? It's stupid. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Now.
And you're getting the Space Wolf Codex in a couple of...
Like, how could you go wrong?
How could you be wrong? Chaos is
You got Dark Angels, you got Space Wolves, all these Chaos Codexes coming out. Juicy.
Yeah, we have Guilliman. Ooh, yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. Also for New Dawn, getting away from the flagship company, there's 2 podcasts that we want to throw a note out to.
Right.
First of all, after 3 years, and it's not a comeback, but the Dwellers Below is back.
Who?
Dwellers Below.
Never heard of her.
Yeah. I thought I did once.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, they're funny dudes.
Yeah, it's 6 guys, so it tends to get,
loud.
Yeah. Sometimes.
But it's hilarious.
It's funny, and it's a good podcast. And it's good to see him back.
Yeah.
So, also, in the brand new podcast from Left Field, you have a new one called The Legends of the Painty Men. And if you just type that into Google, Legends of the Painty Men, you'll see their link to iTunes and all the different methods to get podcasts. But this is 2 comedians. It's, I can't remember the guy. One named Roy. And
Andrew DeWitt and
something, Chris Roy or something.
A guy that doesn't follow me on Twitter.
Oh, well, in that case, heck with him.
Yeah. But yeah, they're both comedians.
Yeah.
They've been on
they're Jimmy Kimmel and of course the other guy Roy, he's got his own show, traveling stand up. Yeah, it's an interesting podcast. I would say definitely they've got 1 episode out. Give it a listen. John Roy, thank you. They have one of my favorite lines I have heard in my lifetime about Daughters of Cain, and explaining how Daughters of Cain can be in the Order Allegiance. And he says, well, just think about them like this. They cross at crosswalks and they drink blood. Yes, they're order, but they're not the best kind of order.
Lawful evil.
Yeah, they're lawful evil.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No. So those are 2 new podcasts that are out that are worth a listen. So go check them out if you want. They're both funny, irreverent, and explicit.
It means we have to compete with celebrities now.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting in on this.
That's okay.
I knew as soon as the money got real good and everything.
Once the real cash started rolling in, we knew there was going to be competition.
Now there's going to be a Tom Cruise podcast. And
yeah, Tom Cruise plays AOS.
Yeah.
The only problem is he'd have to be Sigmar and Alariel and have creative control. Sorry, I'm... Yes.
Did I touch a nerve there?
I like Tom Cruise and all that stuff.
Oh, you're just jealous.
Probably. Yeah, it's probably just jealousy. But, I guess when he was younger and he was doing the cool movies and it was all fun. But now that he wants to have creative control, like, The Mummy. I've always loved that Mummy series.
Oh, yeah.
And he totally ruined that movie. And when you see, he demanded complete and total artistic control to include post-production, and he had to have more screen time than anyone. Now, all this stuff that was written into his contract for that thing. And, the movie's a flop.
Yeah.
It was a loser. Bring back Brandon Fraser, for God's sakes. Those were funny.
They were pretty good.
Yeah.
But, Top Gun 2.
Hey, I'm looking forward to it. A geriatric flying. Yeah, okay.
He has the need for
Geritol.
bingo night.
Yeah. I'll catch up to your little whoopie.
Yeah.
I'll just whoop your little... Back
Madlock! Anyways.
Once that Geritol kicks in, I'm coming after
Right.
you. Okay. We should probably end New Dawn on that.
Yeah.
The Realm of Krabattle.
This is our combination of creation and lack of battle. So,
Yeah. Not much of either, but figure we'll run down it.
yeah, go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do mine. So I haven't played a game, unfortunately.
Me either, so.
Definitely need to get that taken care of. And then as far as hobby goes, I have done a little bit since we last talked. I finished the last few models for my Quadrant Overlords that
Nice.
I have. Unfortunately, it's for a project that I don't want to talk about quite yet.
Right.
But yeah, I'll definitely keep you guys posted on how that goes. But that's pretty much all I did. Oh, and I've been trying to plug away at the death.
Oh, yeah.
I sat down the other night.
I remember
Yeah, I
this.
sat down the other night to start building those freaking Morgaths, man.
Yeah, they're
God, they're
they're
some of the
fun.
worst. The gorgeous models when they're done.
yeah.
Same thing with Spirit Hosts.
Yeah.
They're absolutely a nightmare to assemble.
Mhm.
So sit down, start building it. Baby throws up. Go get that taken care of. Sat down, glued like 2 more bits together. Baby throws up. Go get that taken care of. Go sit down. Baby throws up. I'm like, all right, I see a pattern here. I'm just not going to get this taken care of.
I told you that night, you're missing an opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
You need to collect that stuff up because I'm sure that could be a basing material for
Oh,
someone.
man. Yeah. It was brutal.
You could bottle it up and sell it as Nurgle's Rot.
Yeah. I had no idea a 2-year-old's body could hold that much food. So, yeah, that's all I've done. I'm definitely going to try and I got to get the orcs done, too. I only have a little bit of stuff for the orcs, so I got to get that done in anticipation for what's obviously going to be the best codex for 40K ever, and probably the best one for orcs anyways.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I get the death stuff taken care of so that when the Night Haunt rolls in, I can.
Oh, man.
But it's all snap fit, or push fit, whatever they want to call it. And
Push fit,
I'm super ready for that
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm not a fan of building models. I'm not a fan of painting them. I just want to play, and so to have all that stuff ready to just go together like that,
You'll be priming the same day you start.
Yeah,
Yep.
super geeked. So
Yeah, too true.
I am very much ready for my body is ready, or whatever. But that's enough of me rambling on about my lack of anything. What have you been up to?
Well, let me see. I finished a Great Unclean one, started the next one, so he's base coated and he's got some of his highlights on. So now he needs to be washed and finished.
So that's the third one.
That's number 3 of the Thricefold Befoulment.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm having troubles because I like the way he looks right now. I don't know if I want to.
He's much lighter
wash
than
him.
the others.
Yeah, he is.
Because of the lack of wash.
Yeah, the lack
right?
of wash
Yeah,
right
okay.
now.
So yeah, I mean that's fine. There's nothing wrong with 3 wildly different,
yeah.
great unclean ones.
I was half tempted to go with the blue like Ryan did.
Oh, man,
that
that's
was
so cool.
gorgeous. Man, I love his. But I did a bunch of plague little fellows, plague bringers,
Plague bearers.
bearers. In this game, they're bearers.
Yeah.
Plague bearers. Why can't they be the same between both worlds?
Pretty sure they're plague bearers in 40K as well.
No, they're plague bringers.
Almost guaranteed.
Poxwalkers.
That's totally
Poxwalkers.
something totally. That's totally different.
Okay, just stop. Now I'm getting. Okay, I don't know what game I'm playing right now. What game do we cover again? Star Wars Legion, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, in the Darth Vader department. Oh, okay. Sorry. And I just started on a group of plague drones.
Yeah.
So I just got the wings, or a couple of sets of wings all done, but they need a lot of work. So I still have a lot of work to do before CCC.
Yeah, isn't Nurgle kind of funny like that? Like, they seem like an army that, and you can paint them up really quick.
Oh, sure.
But then it's also very easy to just kind of keep going and going and
Yeah.
going and going. You're like,
And that's it. Is you have to remember when it's done. When the guy's done well enough to go to the tournament or to go,
Yeah.
So, because I'm not looking to win a golden demon with any of these guys. They're good, but they're not.
Yeah, you just want to get pick up those points.
That's
Those
right.
paint points, why not? You know?
Yeah, I just don't want to lose points for the team.
Right.
That's really what it is. And since we're talking a lot about it, we should mention Colorado Clan Carnage
Right.
is in 2 weeks. It is on the 8th.
Holy crap, it
July
is in 2
8th.
weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks, July 8th, and it's up there in Castle Rock, Colorado.
Yeah.
And it is a team tournament, so we have a 3-person team, and we're going up there with 2 different teams from Albuquerque to carry the flag of New Mexico into the land of marijuana. I mean, Colorado. So, yeah. So I just want to make sure all my stuff is painted and based, and, I don't want to lose points for the team because I didn't finish.
Well, you'll be losing points elsewhere.
Yeah,
team,
I'm sure I'll have 3 straight losses. So
That's all right.
As
long as you're having fun.
That's all I go for these days is fun. I don't go to win. Because winning is playing. So.
Playing is winning.
Yeah. Hashtag winning. So, anyway.
What kind of crap mentality is that?
You leave your narrative out of this.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Anyway, also in the realm of creation, I spent a portion of this week putting together a package describing the city-state that all of my armies are going to be coming from the realm. So I was having just a giggly good time deciding on a history. I never expected it to go this far, but it's like a 17-page PDF.
It's pretty bananas.
Yeah, I cover a lot of the background of the city-state and how it goes together. So I'm going to put that up on the webpage. So I'll probably put a link to it in the show notes.
So did this whole thing kick off from my comment about a new army, or?
Well, yeah, you started mentioning that we should each do, a theme.
No. I simply said, I have an idea for a new army.
Yeah.
I talked to a buddy of mine who lives up in the Detroit area, who is a fantastic converter.
Yeah.
One of those people that converts every single model in his army, including Skaven Horde armies.
Nice.
He's a ninth ager, but he's a good guy. He's
not one of those ninth
Yeah, he's not one
agers.
of those guys. Yeah, he's good people. But anyways, I said, hey, I want to do either Corn or Free Peoples. 'Cause I miss I used to have both.
Yeah.
And I got rid of them each like a moron because I really, especially the Corn.
Yeah.
But anyways, kind of went down an avenue with Free Peoples. I zeroed in an idea, and it was based around a conversion that he pitched to me because it's what I want to do. I want to slow grow an army, convert every,
Right.
At least try head swaps.
Personalize it.
Yeah, just something.
Yeah.
And have a narrative behind it, all this stuff. And because I already have multiple painted armies, I don't feel pressured to get it on the table as quick as possible, etc. Right. I just made this comment in the chat, and Steven and Ryan just ran with it.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, we're going to turn it into this huge project, and we're all going to fight against each other. We're all going to create these free people's free cities."
Yes.
They just went absolutely crazy with it. So,
but I mean, I think it did really pique everyone's interest in that you can. It's something that you can latch on to. We're coming up to AOS 2.0. There's a lot more rules for the actual realms themselves.
Yeah.
So it makes sense now to have your stuff grounded in a particular realm. So I think we're all just going with that. All just took that and ran with it. And that's what I did. I wanted to have a place where it would make sense for my Seraphon, my Stormcast that I want to do to be operating out of, and perhaps my Daughters of Cain that I haven't bought yet.
Boy.
But almost did today.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But also, I wanted to have a place where my Nurgle was from. And hey, it's the realm of life. So yeah, I'm pretty much still there. So, and my wife runs Skaven, so I had to work them in somehow. And I just found a spot on the map that was, perfect. Yeah. So I just went from that and ran from it. So I've got maps and...
It gives all of us a nice break from... not that we're real big meta chasers or anything, but we do sometimes, especially with Clan Carnage right around the corner, we get really focused on the tournament side,
and the list
keeping up with what's new, and obviously with 2.0 right around the corner, we're focused on it from all aspects. We want to see what changes it makes to our armies from a competitive standpoint and the other top tier lists and things like that. But because we're also getting so much meat on the mortal realms for all the different realms and all that stuff, it also means that, we want to see what else we can do with it. And I think this little project, I guess it's now turning into this big group project,
Yep.
allows us to, all of us, to jump into it and also keep everybody motivated to keep pushing with it and do some stuff. So yeah, it'll be really cool.
Yeah. Also in the realm of creation or Crabattle this time, since we sort of combined, wanted to do something new, which hopefully will carry through. Both Elric and I are not the fastest of hobbyists and the fastest of creationists. And so rather than having, a boring creation segment every 2 weeks, we figured we'd change it up a little bit, and don't know exactly what we're going to call the segment or the portion, but want to kind of focus on a product or something that will help you in your realm of creation as you build models or paint models or do something. So kind of want to focus on either a product or a book or something that is going to be down that vein.
Yeah.
And for this first one, I want to focus on this device that I ordered a couple of weeks ago and already came in, and it's called the Sharpen Air. All one word, Sharpen Air. You can go to sharpenair.com to find it. And what it is it's a device to help you refinish and sharpen airbrush needles. Now, I don't know if anyone out there is as clumsy and useless as I am, but I somehow find myself bending the needles on my airbrushes more than I think I should. It's not like I take my airbrushes apart all the time or anything like that. It's just, you pull the needle out to clean it, and somehow or another, whenever I'm putting it back, I manage to either hit the end or I drop it. And these needles are, that is a very, very fine tip. It doesn't take much to bend them.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you've bent a needle, you'll know it. Because if you stick a bent needle back into an airbrush, you're already wearing out the brass end by putting a bent needle through it, so it's going to have an effect on the paint flow. But also, just that bend it's going to affect the pattern that the airbrush shoots. And this Sharpen Air is a little device that has 4 sharpening stones in it and 4 little holes. And he has them all set at different degrees, different angles, so that you put the needle into each hole successively, and you just spin it. You don't have to force it. You don't have to crank on it with a drill or anything. You just spin it, put it through each hole, and move on. And by the time you're done, when you remove the needle, it's pretty much back to, it's not perfect. And like he says, you probably need to run some emery cloth along it to get rid of the littlest burrs that are still there. But it will return it to where you can use the airbrush again. You're still probably going to have to replace them. But hey, what are you laughing about over there?
So many innuendos.
Where?
So many innuendos.
I didn't notice any.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I must not be.
I feel like you're describing my... Anyways.
Anyway, just stick it in there. And
yeah. Needle. Put it in the holes. Wipe
but
it off
anyway,
when you're
it's
done.
one whack of a tool. I'm not going to let you derail me on this. Or maybe. It's $44, so literally by the time you've refurbished the third needle, you've paid for it.
Yeah.
So,
and they are not a sponsor. This is a product that you picked up and used and liked. So.
I just saw it online and said, that's cool. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, just go to sharpenair.com if you're like me or reasonably like me and you've run into this problem before. And I always find the problem is I'll bend a needle and then I'm out of business for a few days until Amazon can get me a replacement. So, and I don't like being out of business for that long. So anyway, I think that's it for Crabattle. I don't think we have anything else, do we?
Don't believe so.
All right, we should run into lore, where we've got a ton of stuff to talk about.
Yep. The Realm of Lore, where we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We're going to tackle a bunch of Twitter questions we got. We're going to do a book giveaway.
Yay!
We're going to also talk about... What else?
Mostly, really, just the Twitter questions and the contest, the I Read AOS.
Okay.
So...
Fair enough. Let's dig into it.
Okay, I want to start out with a couple of questions that came to us via Twitter that we may not actually cover in their entirety. But our friend Boss Hoss, he said, as a suggestion for our episode, we should refuse to cover anything related to 2.0 from here on out. Rolling Bad will only talk about 1.0 and become the 9th age of AOS podcasts.
Yep.
Well, Boss Hoss, we'd like to thank you for that input. And since we're already on the outside looking in, I think perhaps we should.
Yeah. First age or bust?
Yeah.
Or
I'm
first
thinking,
edition?
I started that hashtag a couple of days ago about I'm staying with AOS 1.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it didn't catch on.
I think we should do it. And then, 25 years from now, we'll be super cool. Like those guys who talk about only playing second edition 40K.
Yeah, we'll be the retro guys. And they'll all want to be with us.
Right.
So,
tons of people will want to keep playing with us.
Yeah, y'all keep your endless spells. You keep your cool new
models,
shooting rules. And
all that stuff.
You know what? Yeah. Yep. We're going to play with, Compendium.
I like my bread stale.
Yeah.
Okay. And mayonnaise is a little too spicy for me. Okay.
So, from now on, we're going to have 2 podcast feeds, one for Boss Hoss and one for everyone else. The next interesting suggestion from Bitsman of Bitsmanheim, he says, I think you guys should do a full-on funeral for 1.0, including a burning of the old General's handbooks and the 4-page rolls and all the Grand Alliance books. Get an urn and preserve it for history, eulogy and all. Well, actually, as an ordained minister, I could do this.
Yeah.
So Reverend Bill says, we'd now like to say goodbye to our good friend, AOS.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well, you couldn't burn all the Grand Alliance books. You still need like half of the destruction.
That's true, yeah.
So.
Yeah, until we get some more updates. I will say, however, I think I did burn one of the General's handbooks.
What?
Yeah. It's a long story, but I had a box of stuff in the shed that we were going to put on the fire, just old papers and just really old, dumb stuff. And I'm shoveling stuff, and I saw this Games Workshop cover go by, and I was like, what the heck? And ran over there, and it was one of the original General's handbooks. I had 2, but I was like, how did that get in that box?
Boy. Well, there you go.
And then it made me wonder, what else did I burn that I might not have wanted to, but anyway.
Well, your sweet Babylon 5 fanfic.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that was great stuff. Yeah.
I'm sure it was.
So now moving on to some of the things that we will deal with.
Yeah, the actual questions.
You first, sir.
Okay, me first? All right. So we'll tackle this one, and we'll add a little caveat after I'm done reading the question. Marok Wolf asks, talk about your armies and how they are changing with the new edition. Are many units getting swapped out? Are there artifacts you're planning to use? Has the new edition piqued your interest on starting a new army? So the caveat we want to add is we don't have any of the advanced stuff. We didn't get, Soul Wars or the new General's Handbook. So, and while we've seen a lot of the leaks and whatnot, because, you have to be pretty blind to not
see them.
Yeah. We don't really want to speculate on that because we don't have the full picture.
Right.
Because even though points and stuff are flying around, we haven't seen, apparently there's lots of new war scrolls, stuff like that.
Updated.
So,
and we don't really want to send out any bad info, potentially bad info.
So if any of these questions are specifically like revolving around 2.0 and
artifacts and
stuff like that, we're probably not going to be able to answer them yet.
Right.
We'll wait till
next week.
I guess the next episode we'll have the book in our hand for. Yeah. Well, but we'll also
be at CCC.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll make it work. Yeah. Have no fear. Well, I can tell you for my armies changing, when you consider that I'm Nurgle, which was kind of written with this edition in mind.
Yeah.
I'm already, I don't have to make a lot of changes. It's going to summon, the changes to summoning are going to mean I need to pick up some more units of different things that I can bring on the table.
Yeah.
But it's not that big of a deal. My big concern is for my Seraphon, which summoning is going to change completely for them. I really want to see the points changes. I really want to see how that all works together. And of course, I'm working on my Balewind, so I know that's going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
So I know my Seraphon list is going to change considerably based on what, the new stuff that's available and the new mechanic that's going to be available for them. So for sure, that's going to change in a big way.
Yeah, I think for my armies, my existing armies, with Death, I haven't really even done much with Death, so which is kind of nice because it allows me to just roll right into 2.0 with the army and go from there.
Yeah, you're not overcommitted.
Right. Yeah. Just from what I've seen, though, from Death, I think. And again, Legions and Nagash was also another book that was written for second edition in mind. Yeah, Death is in a pretty tasty place.
Oh, yeah,
I
you are.
think. Their summoning is a little different than everybody else's. You don't bring new stuff on, you just recycle old units. But I still think that's pretty good.
It's going to force you to be more careful with your list building.
Yeah.
You're going to actually have to make an all-comers list, whereas some of the other summoning, you can kind of tailor things
Fill
after.
in gaps, yeah.
But, you're going to have to be more careful. But you also have a lot more freedom and a lot more ability.
But it also means you can be a little more reckless, too.
That's true.
Especially with the change. Some of the stuff we do know, because it's been shown on the community site or whatever, one of the big changes, or they talked about it on the Stormcast episodes, is if you're in combat now, you have to fight.
You have to fight.
Which is really beneficial to death players, because if you had like a 30-man unit of Graveguard that were out there getting beat up and your opponent gets them down to like 5...
Yeah.
And then they're just like, well, I'm not going to swing at him because if I kill the last 5, you're just going to bring them back on for a command point next turn. Well, now they have to swing.
Yep.
And you could potentially bring back 30 flipping Graveguard, which is pretty strong.
Well, and depending on where you put your graveyards,
yeah,
you could take them from where you don't want them to where you do want them.
Yeah.
So it's also a free move shenanigan depending on how you set up. So,
right.
Yeah, there's a lot of neat stuff there.
With my other army, the Iron Jaws, obviously, I've been playing them for a long time. For me, with the Iron Jaws, how I think the additional change them is I kind of wish I had some more Ard Boys.
Yeah.
So I might have to pick up some more of those. Maybe a second Cabbage. Maybe. I think you're going to see a lot of endless spells.
Yeah.
They're in a really interesting spot. I think you can do some stuff where you can continue kind of playing like 1.0 lists that try to do like the Iron Suns formation or whatever. Or you could instead keep those points set aside and just start the game with a whole boatload of command points.
Yeah.
And then just try to do some crazy combat Alpha Strike army where you pop a whole bunch of wogs and run in with a bajillion attacks on your guys. Or you could throw in either Weird Knob Shamans or some Fungoid Shamans or whatever and go with a bunch of endless spells. I've seen a lot of mixed destruction lists. So it's still a lot of Iron Jaws, but then you start throwing Stonehorns in the mix. And
well, that's what I've been looking at for the BCR stuff is I can finally maybe take some orcs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that'd be very interesting, and I really feel like Destruction is going to get more attention towards the end of the year as well, or maybe next year. Within the next 12 months, I'm pretty sure we're going to have at least one more Destruction battle tome in our hands.
There has to be because it's flagging so far behind.
Yeah. As far as starting new armies, I mean, we just kind of touched on that. I'm going to start a whole new army I'm going to wait till I have the book in hand. I really want to read through the different realms.
Yeah.
And I have an idea for an army that I want to do. So I need to find a realm that really grabs me of where this army fits in.
Right.
So I can continue to flesh that out. And before I even start putting together any models for it, I
Right.
want to have all this backstory done. But yes, 2.0 has definitely motivated me to start a new army.
Oh, yeah.
You're Bill, so you're always going to be buying new stuff. So the question, I think if we're going to modify this question for you is, has 2.0 motivated you to open any of your existing armies and put them together so you could play with them?
Most of my AOS armies are open. My
That's
Beast
true.
Claws are all open. My Nurgle is, completely in work. My Seraphon's in work. So
Your death.
my death is almost done. I mean, I could literally feel death today if I had to.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be a great, just like before, it wouldn't be a great list. It's not that effective.
Well, it's because it's like a weird mix of
Yeah.
death and flesh eater courts.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because
It's, death and ghouls. So. But yeah, I mean, you almost can't look at the new edition and go, no, I don't want anything new, because I guarantee you shortly after this comes out, unless there's some really crazy releases, hot on the heels, I will be doing Daughters of Cain. Those models are speaking to me.
it is a gorgeous army.
When done well. That's my biggest
Oh, yeah.
fear, is you have to be able to paint the flesh and...
Well, okay. So you get your Nurgle done, right?
Mhm.
You can sprinkle in some new death stuff in case you want to change it up, and get something that, not necessarily competitive, like you're going to take it to a tournament, but
Sure.
a game that you can sit down and play.
Right.
And your Seraphon, get some paint on that stuff, once you have all that taken care of, then jump in on the daughters.
Yep.
You can take your time. You have 3 armies that play relatively different.
Reasonably well.
They're all painted. You can have fun with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can take your time.
Doing the daughters. Yeah.
Or, daughters.
Yep.
You know, as you look at your mortgage payment of Imperial Knights, just sitting there waiting for paint as well.
Yeah.
I mean, just, you'll be all right, Bill. You'll be all right.
I'm a sad man.
No one knows what it's like
to be the sad man. Okay, anyway, next question.
Adam Lee at boomer _ 1989 says you could deep dive a Grand Alliance or a few factions and talk about how 2.0 affects them, maybe pay special attention to factions who were not well represented before and how they would be more viable / interesting now. So again, this kind of touches on how we don't have all the info in front of us. I mean, we kind of talked about, like, I've seen a lot of mixed destruction lists that used to be a big thing, but this is definitely something we want to move forward with after 2.0 launches.
In an episode or 2, we can cover that one, because
possibly making a whole new segment of the show where we're really going to, because we used to do this.
Yeah.
And
we need to get back to it.
Yeah. We can really sink our teeth into what we feel is competitive, but we can also talk about the models we really enjoy, the background of the army. Basically, take the Garage Hammer approach, but shrink it down from a 6-hour episode to like a 15-minute segment.
Sure. We can do that. Hashtag better call Dave.
Yeah, better call Whitek.
Better call Whitek. That was it.
We also have from at Wreckhammer. This is Zach. He says, basically piles on, it would be cool to chat about the competitive impact. Change host is essentially dead.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. And Death got a lot of new things. I'll agree with some of that. Seraphon summoning is a big change, which,
yes, it is.
Yeah. What do you think we'll see, and what are you excited to play at events? So I don't think Change Host is dead. I think Tzeentch is just changing.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
I felt stupid saying, like halfway through saying that, I realized. Anyways.
I think Change Host does go up quite a bit in points.
Sure, but I think
Tzeentch
is going to be fine. I've seen the summoning rules. I'm pretty sure Tzeentch is going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to be... It's not over by any means.
No.
It's going to change how they build the list and how they play it. The big thing with them is, Destiny Dice be damned, there's a lot more opportunities to unbind their spells.
Sure.
So you're not just going to sit there and take it in the shorts every time when they're doing 27-inch spells because they can, and you're sitting back there going, they outrange everything I have, I can't close with them, and when I do, I get shot off the board by Skyfires or myrtleized by close combat Skyfires.
Yeah, so Change Host as the formation, maybe we won't see it as much. But I think Tzeentch is still... Tzeentch is just
You're right.
fine.
I did say that. Change Host, it may be dead, but Tzeentch as a powerful faction is they will still maintain. It's going to be harder to play. I almost guarantee you. It's not going to be the instant win button.
Right.
But
Death got a lot of new things. I don't think it's necessarily that Death got a lot of new things. I think it's just we're seeing the edition at which the book was written for.
Yeah.
So
Legions
it's
came
like,
out.
oh, okay, all these tools is this just for like narrative fun open?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of
play?
stuff when you look at that book and go, what is that all about? And now that you know what the new rules are, you're like, oh my God, that's good.
Pretty tasty. So... Yeah, and then obviously we agree that the Seraphon, I think, have been completely changed. I mean, they're...
hopefully revived.
Yeah. I don't see why they wouldn't be. They've got some point reductions that we've seen, and some of the other questions go on about this, about like second edition being the addition of magic.
Right.
And Seraphon, don't mess around.
Yeah,
when
we're going to get into
magic.
that when we get into Sombra Minds questions. So.
And then, what do you think we'll see? And what are you excited to play at events? I don't know what we'll see.
Oh, my gosh.
To be honest.
I think you'll actually see something like you see in 40K where almost everything could be on the table. You could run into virtually anything. I mean, Free People's got one whack of a boost, and that means there's a lot of armies out there that are just waiting to go from square bases to round.
Yeah.
And they'll be a thing again.
Well, and there's other little things. This whole Sacrosanct Chamber thing totally changes the meta because Stormcast can ally with anybody. That means anybody who's an ally
right.
or who's an order army can bring a wizard.
Yeah.
So that's going to change some stuff. As far as chaos goes, I mean, chaos does not suck in any way. I mean, there's some stuff, Skaven could probably use a little
they need
attention
some love,
and
but...
the old Bray / Warherd stuff. Some of that stuff. But I'm
Sure.
talking like if you play any of the 3 big books or even Everchosen, Everchosen got a little boost. And then Death, obviously.
Good.
Flesh Eater Court is going to get some attention in the book. I've already seen some of that stuff floating around.
We know Nighthaunt's getting...
Yeah, the Nighthaunt book is going to be super tasty. And then the Legions of Nagash book is obviously written for 2.0. So,
right.
And what am I excited to play? I'm excited to see new things.
Yes.
I'm excited at the potential for writing a list and not having to think. Well, I mean, you'll always have to think this, but you'll have to keep so many more things in mind other than how does my army deal with Stormcast? How does my army deal with Change Host?
Right.
And if I can't deal with those, there's pretty much no point in me going.
Can I do
to
Vanguard
this.
Wing? Can I do Change Host? Can I do the Murder Host?
Well, even that wasn't.
That wasn't a big thing. But...
Yeah, not on the same level as those other two. And now, Stormcast are always going to be a thing.
They're always going to be good.
And I think Tzeentch is still totally competitive. But we're going to see hopefully so many other armies come up to that point.
And combinations.
And because of that, it just makes the meta so much richer.
Right.
So that's what I'm excited. Nothing specific. Just excited to see how things.
If I can approach that from a different point of view, however.
Okay.
I would like to say that I am firmly opposed to that broadening of the meta.
Okay.
Because I barely have my head wrapped around the one we have now. I certainly don't need to be facing stuff that only existed in 4th edition Warhammer and is now cool again.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what it is. Hell, the other day I had to ask Tyler Mengel what the hell that model was. And he's like, "Are you an idiot? It's a Hydra, fool." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't know."
Oh, Bill.
I've never seen one before. And I was like, "That's a really cool model. Where'd you get it?"
Wait till you sink your teeth into Idneth Deepkin and what they can do.
Oh, my God. Well, we know them. Good Lord.
Yeah. Good times.
But, yeah, anyway.
At Spongy Paint, James Lynch says, "Lord Chat, rampant speculation on where the story will go next."
Okay.
Man. So Nagash has basically jumped the shark. And
we're in the War of Souls now.
Yeah, turned Shaiish into a donut realm.
I'm telling you what, this is crazy. It's funny. I was looking a lot into this when I was writing up the history for my city-state. Most of the lore now talks about how the Realm Gate Wars are long over.
Yeah.
So all of those, the big 5 books that came out, or 4 books that came out are, that's history now. That's a couple hundred years old. And now this War of Souls, which Nagash managed to once again screw up. He's
Imagine
like the
that.
Gilligan of...
He's a Muppet.
Yeah, he's really
pretty
is.
bad, yeah.
And I would almost say if we weren't...
I'm not a smart man, but I know what death is.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he's just a butthead. But, yeah, we're now into this War of Souls. Kind of from an over, a 20,000-foot look-down perspective, the last thing that needs to happen is for destruction to be brought up to the level of the other factions.
Yeah.
So we're going to kick from this War of Souls. We're having these effects felt all over the realms. They're fleshing out all of the realms with rules for how they operate and all this stuff, which can only be a great thing.
Yeah.
So story-wise, where are we going to go next? You got to know there's going to be some kind of WOG or some sort of
be still my
primal
greenskin
thing that's going to happen in the realm of beasts or the realm of life. It'll probably be what, Gur?
Yeah, so I think if I had to really bet on it or whatever, it'd be one of two things. I think one, it would be what you're saying, and Destruction comes out with a new faction or two. Maybe Gorka Morka comes back.
Well, maybe he just gets really tired of this Nagash crap and, he's like, "Look, you've played with your magic long enough. You screwed up everything. Now I'm just going to slap you down like some kind of little fool boxer." And,
Yeah, I think we could either see that, or I think a lot of signs point to Slaanesh breaking loose.
Well, yeah, you have to have that arc.
So we get the whole Slaanesh release. We also get a Malarian and a Tyrian release, which...
I think that's sooner than later, though.
Yeah.
I think that's this year.
Well, so it seems like every January-ish or whatever, we get a demon book.
Right.
You know, and
it's true.
It's for both 40K and Age of Sigmar.
It's a good point, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they could continue down the elf thing and give us Malarian, give us Tyrian, and then now that we have all the elves, Slaanesh breaks free.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get, you know, this massive, that'll be the next massive war, is Slaanesh taking out all his or her anger on on the elves, and the elves having an order in general. Yeah. Being like, holy cow, like,
what just happened?
There's a whole new powerhouse in the mortal realms that is not happy, you know, and not stupid like Nagash is actually capable of.
Okay, so we had our problems with Archeon, and he kind of won. We had problems with Nagash, but you know how that works out. He's an idiot. Uh-oh, here comes another one.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing is if Slaanesh comes around, it's not just how Order deals with it. You know, you have three other Chaos gods that have to anticipate. It's not like they like each other. So, you know, you could show how it affects Khorne and Nurgle and Tzeentch, and Archeon, you know, you know, maybe Slaanesh tries to bend Archeon to his will and, you know, go out there and conquer more of the realms for me, or
bring me a shrubbery.
Or something like that. I mean, there's lots of...
Yeah, there's all kinds of avenues. Hell, Slaanesh could fall out of wherever he is and just fall smack dab into Gur and the Realm of Beasts, and old Gorka Marka just says, oh, no, we're not going to have that. So, I mean, you got to tie these stories together.
Yeah.
And they'll find... One thing we have found is that no matter what we presuppose they have to do with the lore, they always find a way to go, no, here's where we're going.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of the Mortal Realms, is they can do that.
Yeah, right? Anything
can go in any direction they want. Any of it, you know, it just works.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. It's so out there. So yeah, that's our two ideas. Either it's going to be full on destruction going crazy, or full on Slaanesh going crazy, or a mixture of both. But either way, stick around for the ride because it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a couple others. We got a tweet from @ZT Lamb, Zach Lamb, says, I think rather than covering the exact changes, I'd vote you look at a good list of the factions and talk about how their point/new stuff may push them to different style lists. Again, you know,
that's what we'll do.
Need more second edition
drops,
information, and we're going to do a whole section on that kind of stuff. Especially, there's several, you know, @Tristan Gray kind of says the same thing. The lore changes would be cool, and maybe what spells you think you'd take with your army, what you think will be good for your death force, how to think about command points, and how the turn will go with them.
Oh boy.
You know, again, some of that stuff pertains to second edition. I mean, some of it we can speculate on a little bit because we've gotten some official stuff from the community page.
Well, yeah, you can kind of presuppose, even from what we know now, command points are going to be as big a resource as anything else in the game. And managing that is going to be huge, especially in a tournament setting. In narrative settings, it's going to be big because, you know, obviously you still want to win. But I think the people or groups that can manage their command points the best are going to rise to the top of the new meta, if you will. It's the ability to use multiple command abilities in a lot of armies. You know, like what you were saying with Iron Jaws, you're going to be able to stack up a lot of crazy abilities on a group of brutes and make them a holy terror for a turn or two. And planning when that happens is going to be huge. Because if you do it too early, oops. If you do it too late, oops. So I think the mental head game going forward with command points is going to, it's probably going to define the new top tier players versus, I'm not going to say, you know, the top tier guys now are going to fall out of the top tier, but, you know, some of them are going to get tripped up by it. And you may actually find some people who are, you know, maybe not in the top 10 lists now, today, might be there a year from now. So.
Yeah, definitely. I know you have a couple.
Yeah, Sombermine, Twitter user, put out a series of 3 questions, which I think are pretty good. The first one is, are you afraid of a predominance of magic in this 2nd edition? And I think to that, I have to say I'm apprehensive, but I'm not afraid.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a wait and see. I can definitely see how people can get that impression. But one thing that I do wonder about greatly is with the malign sorcery and these endless spells and all that stuff, how many events are actually going to use them?
Right.
Because it is a whole supplement to the game. So if you show up to a game and you have these this book and these models and all this stuff, and your opponent has no idea what it is, is that fair?
No.
As a TO, do you want to deal with that kind of stuff? I don't know. I mean, you could just say, well, what if I show up with Ideneth Deepkin and you've never seen the army or really sunk your teeth into it and have no idea what they do?
I've never played Free Peoples before. Does that mean you can't go to a tournament with them?
Right.
No. I can see the endless spells being not allowed in the first few tournaments of the edition as people are getting used to and ready for them. But I think you'll see the endless spells, I have not seen one of them that is like game unbalancing. I don't see any of them that will throw the game toward one person or another. Now, I mean, obviously we might miss a combo here or there. I think the inherent balance in Magic is such, and this is why I say I'm apprehensive, not afraid. I think Magic is balanced well enough that, yes, Tzeentch has a preponderance of spells that can do mean things. They also had that in AOS 1.0. So nothing's really changing. That's what they do. They do spells, and they do them well. I don't think you're going to see that unbalance the game. If you don't like Magic, then yeah, it will be a detractor to the game for you. But if you're okay with it and you're okay with how it works, and like you said, every faction has access to a wizard now. I mean, just about everybody can take a wizard. So you're not out there on an island. Hell, if nothing else, you can bring one of the 4 malign portent. Well, no, the Dark Oath War Queen doesn't do spells, does she?
Yeah, only the
fungus
shaman does.
And I thought the fungus and the Lord Ordinator did. No, he doesn't do spells. He does. No. That's right. He does engineering.
He does pew-pews.
Yeah. But I mean, just about everybody has access to a spell of some kind, or at least the ability to unbind. So,
yeah, I would say if you play an army that does not have magic in it, you may want to start looking at how you can either get a wizard or you can at least get a hold of somebody that unbinds.
Yeah. And we may actually see a resurgence in sideboard points. Like we did the first year of LVO, where you could swap in an amount of points.
Oh, that would be crazy. I don't know if people want to go back to those days.
It's hard to manage sometimes, but you may see something like that to where, if I brought a list that has endless spells and all of a sudden I can't use them because the guy I'm facing doesn't have them, well, I just wasted those points now. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how things shake out, but there's all kinds of different answers. I wouldn't be too worried about it, Sombermine. I think we'll be all right. His next question, he had 3. The best new rule for me. My gut reaction is to say summoning, but I really think the best new rule is the changes to shooting.
Okay.
I think it's going to return a semblance of balance and opportunity back to the game that doesn't exist for some factions right now.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, you look at some armies that just get victimized by shooting now have the opportunity to keep that from happening.
Yeah.
That's my thought for the biggest change, the best new rule. What's your best new rule?
I really like having to attack.
Yeah.
You have to attack.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that change with that. Wrathmongers get a lot better.
They just got...
yeah.
They just went through the roof.
Like I pointed out with death earlier, your
cabbage.
Opponent could just... You could choose to not fight, and therefore I can't bring the stuff back as quickly. I mean, you could still try to bring them back graveyards and stuff like that, but being able to just bring back the whole unit is pretty good. Yeah, one of my favorite combinations with my Mega Boss on Maw Crushes to get him Ironclad and Armor of Gort, and then cast Mystic Shield on him. Obviously, the Mystic Shield aspect will change, but it's still good.
Yeah.
Being able to reroll 1s with a 3-up save, reducing all rend by 1 and bouncing mortal wounds back on a 6+ on a save is pretty tasty. The problem I used to have with him is I'd tank him up, give him Mystic Shield, reduce him down to a 2, reduces rend, and then bounces mortal wounds back on a 5 or a 6 with the save. You throw him in, and your opponent would be like, okay, I'm just not going to attack him.
Right.
And it's like...
That's what I did. Why attack it?
And it's like, now you have to fight him.
Well, and it makes for a more cinematic, thematic game.
Yeah.
For one. And also it makes those abilities, those things, prevalent again. Wrathmongers. You went up against Wrathmongers, you knew what you did. You screened them and you walked away, and you just ignored them.
Yeah.
That's all you could do. There's no point in attacking them. None.
Yeah.
Now you have to. So, or at least you have to magic them off,
Yeah, or shoot,
Yeah. There's ways to deal with them, but now you actually have to look at you can't ignore the fact that they're out there.
Right. So, yeah, I'd say that's probably... I do have to point out that all the new magic stuff is really cool. I'm a little disappointed that there's no risk-reward system for it.
Yeah, there is still no failure to cast.
Well, you could fail to cast a spell, but
there's no penalty to it.
Yeah. Like, if I roll Snake Eyes, I hurt myself or
my
anything
eyes
like
pop
that.
out. So.
Yep,
that would have been more fun. And Summermine's last question, which again we might have to delay, but maybe not. Do you already have a favorite endless spell mini or rules? And the endless spells are already released. They're in the app.
Yeah.
So this one we can kind of speak to. And I hate to say it, but I personally like them all. Although for most of my armies, I truly love the cogs.
Chronomatic cogs.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the first. I was like, the what? Chronomatic cogs, which I think it's got to be one of the most powerful spells in that, it's tough to cast, but not over the top tough. But what it lets you do is just so much fun. And for my Beast Claw and for my Seraphon and heck, even for my Nurgle, anything that makes my Nurgle move faster, I'm happy. So you give me bells, you give me icky sickly plants, you give me, a spell or an endless spell, I'm down. I am totally down with it. So that one's my favorite.
If I had to select one off of just reading them, not seeing them how they play.
And this comes from no experience with them. Please don't think we know what we're talking about.
I like Quicksilver swords.
Oh, that one's neat. Yes.
Yeah, Chaos is really popular. Being able to potentially drop some mortal wounds on somebody like that, I think it's really fun. A lot of these, they're very similar in what they do.
Right.
It's a predatory spell. You launch it anywhere from 9 to 12 inches. Mm-hmm. Anything that's within an inch or 3 inches takes around D6 mortal wounds.
Yeah.
So it's things like the Prismatic Palisade or the Chronomatic Krogs or the Emerald Life Swarm that really do something different.
Yeah.
So,
and they're, of course, situational. Certain armies are going to use those, whereas other ones won't even care that they're there. So.
Yeah. Some of them, stuff like the Umbral Spell Portal.
That one
it'll be very interesting to see how some games are dictated. I think that's a spell that dictates games.
It will be with Tzeentch and with Seraphon and with other super magic based death. Yeah. There's a lot of applications for that are huge.
Yeah, Nagash throwing one of those down and then just launching more spells through it.
He'll dominate the entire board with his spellcasting.
Pretty tasty.
Yeah, you have to believe it.
Pretty tasty.
But again, I don't think any one of those on its own is actually going to be, it will unbalance the game. And, again, we've said this before. We said it last episode. If one of these turns out to be a combination, like, Nagash with the spell portal, if that does turn out to be, whoops, we messed that up, it'll be fixed in a couple of weeks with a FAQ that comes out and says, nah, this is how it works now. So I'm not afraid going forward. I'm not afraid. I'm not. I can do this. I'm not afraid. Okay, yes, I am. I'm terrified because I'm not very good at this game.
It's all right.
So, yeah, you'll carry me.
Oh, well. Not with this bad back. And then I
You
believe
calling
we
me
had...
fat, man?
Yeah,
You calling me fat?
No, I'm just saying.
You should. So that was all of Somber Mind's questions. Thank you, sir. You got any more?
I don't believe so. Our very own Ryan Taylor asks how many armies will Ryan have in the first year of 2.0, and how many will he sell to the group?
Historically, I would say 6 to 8, with all of them being sold. Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
At which point he will then buy the same armies again.
Yeah. In fact, I believe he just cranked up his 4th Stormcast Eternals army.
Yeah, because when he was here last week, I gave him a Lord Relictor.
Yeah.
So that he could finish out his force for Clan Carnage.
Sweet. I can't wait to get a Stormcast.
Well, that's one of the reasons, I had 2 of them. I had one that was just built, not primed, and one that was primed gold. So he wanted the one that was unprimed, which was like, oh, bonus. So when I buy the army, it'll be painted fully. He just saved me some Retributor gold.
What do you mean you're going to buy it?
Hey, dibs.
No, I'm going to.
Dibs.
No.
Dibs.
No.
I said dibs.
All right.
You get your own Chaos Army, pal.
I know. Yes, hopefully he keeps the rest of us playing games with new armies.
Yeah. Well, he is a great resource for that. I mean, I wouldn't have my Chaos if it wasn't for him.
Let's see. Yeah, Tristan Gray asked, what new realm relics can do for general armies and compendium ones. What you think people will be running for packs at events would be cool. So the first part of that we can't really talk about.
Right.
Because, again, don't have everything in front of us yet.
Don't want to give you bad
But
info.
we'll definitely, touch on that stuff when we have all the information. But the second part, what you think people will be running for packs at events.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah. So, again, I mean, it'll be interesting to see who uses Malign. I think the big one will be Malign Sorcery.
Yeah, that's going to be the big...
Will events use it or will they not?
Right. And I think we'll see that because we have coming up, we have Nova Open, and then on the heels of that, 3 months later, we have LVO. And by that, I don't know if by Nova the meta will be shaking out and people will know exactly how to deal with things, but certainly by LVO we'll know. So.
Well, it also, a lot of it depends on Games Workshop.
That's right.
If they keep pumping out new books and new armies, the meta will never settle.
That's right.
So...
And more power to them. I hope that's what happens. I'd rather not see a stable meta because those are not fun.
I do not want 2.0 to drop and then we go like 8 months without an update.
Right.
That would drive me absolutely insane.
I don't think they'll do that.
No, because 40K is nearing its madman cycle of releases.
Yeah.
And so I think 40K will go to a more comfortable, let's explore totally new things, which they've already been doing, but they can do it even more so.
I think in the future there, you're going to see war zones and, different
crazy narrative,
different methods to explore play styles. And I think you'll actually start, as we start to flesh out more and more of AOS, it's obviously a longer run to get to all the factions being out there.
Yeah.
But then as we start seeing more and more stuff like this come out, I think, Malign Sorcery coming out at the same time as 2.0 is interesting. I wonder if it might have been better to wait 3 months.
No.
But drop it all now.
I think put it all out, let it all marinate together.
That's right.
If you put it out 3 months from now, then people will definitely write it off. I mean, that's what they did with Storm of Magic in 8th edition. Just nobody ever used that stuff.
Yeah.
Granted, some of it was pretty bananas, but it was just, I think, releasing it all together.
I mean, you get all the changes out there now, get the new edition going out there, and we'll see where it shakes out. I honestly don't think Endless Spells or, Malign Sorcery as a package is going to have a huge effect on how the results will look.
Yeah.
But we'll see, and I'll say with this one thing, as far as packs for events, we've said it before and I'll say it again, it now is even more important to read those damn packs that the TO spent a ton of time putting together so that you'd know everything about the event. Yep. You don't want to show up to an event with this and this and this and find out that you can't run that and that and that.
Exactly.
And I will speak to Clan Carnage right now. They had to extend the deadline for army list submission because they didn't get it. And I submitted mine yesterday. I just want to let that be known.
Yeah. I submitted mine today. Today was the cutoff date.
Today's the date. Yep, midnight tonight.
I mean, it's been extended another week, but still.
But still, I don't think you should. I think there should be a penalty involved. That pack has been out there for ages.
Yeah.
You knew today was the deadline. If you haven't submitted, you get 10 DKP. 10 DKP right now.
Yeah.
You no get points. You no get relic.
Time for the for the commissar to motivate the troops.
Exactly. So, but yeah, definitely more than ever pay attention to the packs because TOs are going to decide how they want their games to look. And you need to be aware of it. You need to be on top of it. There are things that are going to change and you need to stay on top of it.
Jacob Berry at Big Jabbles.
Ooh.
He commented, just ask the right questions in your coverage, namely #Why Warhammer, taking up the mantle since at Scrubby and Wells is apparently trapped between the realms of light and shadow. No. So, yeah, why Warhammer 2.0?
Why Warhammer? Well, aside from we all have too much disposable income.
Yeah.
We have certainly first world issues.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that deep down inside, most of us have never grown up from that 5 to 10-year-old child who played with little green plastic army men in the sandbox when they were growing up. Except now, we call it a hobby. We attach either money or prizes to it, and we try to legitimize it by saying that we use strategery and tactications, and yeah, we're just playing with toys.
I like to think it's because I'm trying to balance out my need for acceptance with my apathy. So rather than trying to be liked by the right people, I'm just trying to be liked by certain people. And gamers are really an easy bunch to just...
That's a good point. They're easy targets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell, I let you in my house.
Right.
So you're actually working well on that.
Yeah.
That's good. You've done well. And now concluding today's lecture on Psychology 101.
Yeah. At Maximum Pants, Maximum_Pants, says you could get in early on AOS 3 coverage.
Oh, I have heard some serious rumors about 3.0.
Yeah. The
square bases and the movement trays.
Yeah.
In fact, I just want to let you know that I'm ahead of the game.
Oh my God.
For 3.0. I have a movement tray in my hand right
goblin
now.
Green.
A Goblin Green.
4x
GW
5.
1998.
Ugh.
Movement tray.
That's a year after Final Fantasy VII came out.
God, isn't that scary?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think when you see the changes for 3.0 and we go back to rank and flank and square, I think it's going to be time for people to drop this. Oh, look at my skirmish guys on their little round bases.
Yeah.
Aren't they cute? No, you're going to have one rank of guys who are fully painted, and then the rest will be fillers.
Yep.
So let's get back to some real gaming here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so that's our 3.0 coverage.
Yeah. That's pretty much all the questions.
Oh, cool.
Hobby_Bear says we could go super meta and cover the coverage.
That's what yes. I think we needed to do that. If you are one of the few people in the world that hasn't watched the entire 8 hours of Warhammer Weekly with Vince Venturella.
I took a vacation day from work so that I could watch it because I felt that it was far more important.
But the thing, you have to stay at that level if you want to be in this hobby. So, no, I mean, we're not trying to give Vince any crap here. It was a pretty amazing undertaking to do 8 hours of continuous discussion about 2.0 with different people from the hobby coming on and talking about, how they felt and what they thought and all that stuff. And some of it rehashes now and then, but it's a really amazing little thing. And, it's another one of those deals. It's an 8-hour video, but you can do the audio as well. And, it's something to have on in the background while you're playing. And some of it's pretty funny. Some of it is downright hilarious, but most of it is very informative. One thing you can always say about Vince is he has a very cerebral approach to a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Being a designer himself, he knows how to pick apart things and sort of get down to why something is good and why something might not be great. So,
yeah, so we could, do a 9-hour breakdown of his 8-hour show.
Yeah, just with commentary and
break down the face hammer.
We could do 5 hours of that.
Yeah, the Healing Hammer.
So, oh yeah, for sure. That was a 3-hour show.
Yeah, so...
Although, one thing I will say about the latest Healing Hammer, it is 3 hours long, but they do a section in there talking to the two guys that won South Coast GT. Jack Armstrong, who won the overall event, the fighting portion of it, and the guy who won the Best Painted. And both of those discussions are cracking good. Jack Armstrong breaks down his list and why and how he plays and how he's decided to play and some things about how he's going to play going forward, which I think is an interesting revelation. He mentions how I think he was playing Ben Curry in one of the final rounds, and Ben made a comment about, you used to be more fun. But Jack said, he was so focused on winning South Coast that he kind of lost sight of the gaming aspect of it, that this is a game and we're here to have some fun. And he admitted that he might not have made all of his games at South Coast fun for his opponent. But, and he even said going forward, he's going to approach it, differently. Now that he's won South Coast, he doesn't feel that pressure anymore. So that was a feather in his crown that he didn't have, which is odd when you think it's Jack Armstrong and he's won everything. So it's a very interesting perspective from him, and I thought it was a really great discussion on Healing Hammer. So go check out that episode, please. It's good. It's very, very good.
Matt Lyons.
Yeah, a great discussion with him about, the approach to take to, get an army ready to a level to win an event, Best Painted.
Yeah.
At an event like South Coast, where everybody, Healing even talks about, this was through no fault of their own. This ended up being a bad weekend to have South Coast GT on because there were other events going on and other things going on. So it was the same weekend as Heat 3. So, oops.
Yeah.
Like you said, they didn't have the record number of attendees like they've always been pushing their record every year, but like he said, the lower bar was a lot higher this year than it ever had been before. So the worst painted army was a heck of a lot.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, pretty darn good. Cool. So, and Matt Lyons was pretty surprised that he won overall. He was very shocked.
Well, based on what I've seen at Adepticon, with what some of those British dudes put on the table. Yeah. Those guys don't mess around with the hobby.
Terry Pike, who won the Adepticon Best Painted, came in third at South Coast GT. So you can just imagine what the other two must have been like.
Right.
So,
because Terry's army is
gorgeous. So, but yeah, that's a very, very good episode. So, and
I think that's
pretty much it for the lore. So we should probably give away a book.
Let's give away a book.
God, these people are always digging into our pockets for stuff. My God.
I know.
All right. So you have the grand list. I will go to random.org, whereupon we will generate a random number between 1 and 57,000. If it falls outside the range of the number of entries, we keep the book. That's a new rule we instituted this week.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. So anyway, hold on a second here. Do you have the list, sir?
I do.
All right.
Very heavy
I'm
typing there.
I am, but sometimes the PC
quite
doesn't.
ham-fisted.
I am.
And the winner.
Random number is 3.
That would be at Mr. Geist, Jim Orcutt.
Oh, okay. Jim Orcutt.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, he owes me money.
No. Well, it's funny because we owe him a book.
All right.
I'll let this run for a little bit, see if he actually listens to the show.
That's right.
He hits me up, and if he doesn't, then I'll
contact
him and let him know he's won.
Very nice.
And if you would like to be entered for a chance to win a Black Library novel, an Age of Sigmar Black Library novel, you almost said Blackberry novel, you can either use the hashtag IReadAOS on Twitter. If you are not a tweeter or a twatter or a twooter, you can... You all right there?
I'm all good.
You can hit me up on Facebook. You can send us an email either to the show or to me or whatever, letting us know you want to be a part of the competition, and we'll throw you in on the list.
That is correct.
So,
and again, the whole point of this contest is to get people aware of the Sigmar Black Library section, and it's actually really quite good. There's a lot of good books in there. And I can only imagine that as the realms get fleshed out, that these books are just going to get better and better and better. I'm totally super looking forward to the Josh Reynolds chapter that's going to be in Soul Wars, as well as the book when I get to this sort of buy it.
I even have maybe we'll do it for episode 50, because that'll be the next one we give away a book.
Yeah.
I have an autographed copy of Iron Dragon, the Quadrant Overlord novel.
We could read it out loud.
We could.
That would be our whole episode.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll do voices, sound effects.
Yes, let's.
Be good times. We'll do our own audio drama.
Oh my God.
But it would be like a low budget B movie.
Yeah, totally.
You know.
Totally. But we could do sound effects. Oh, this is going to be great. All right.
So, yeah, that's what we'll give away on the 50th, is the autograph.
Oh, very
copy
nice.
Of that.
Very nice. Okay.
For the I Read AOS competition.
Very nice.
All right.
Okay.
I think that's about it.
Do indeed.
Next episode will be post... Oh, man. It'll have to come out the weekend we're doing
Clan
CCC.
Carnage.
So how are we going to do that? You want to record at Clan Carnage?
I guess.
If it's just you and I in a room.
Yeah.
And once we're done doing the other things we do, when it's just you and I in a room.
Yeah. Well, Steven's going to watch.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll have to blindfold him. He's not old enough for this.
No.
Okay.
Unless he gets a release from his parents.
That's right.
We could try it.
Yeah, we can.
Maybe.
We can throw it. I'll throw it in the car. And
we've tried it once before, and it was
a crap
flaming
show.
wreckage.
Yeah.
You thought
we won't do it that way ever again. We've promised.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're not going to hand microphones around. No.
No.
So.
No. But
okay, yeah. So, yeah, we'll
it might not... I know 2.0 will be out.
Yes.
We may not dig into it too much.
Well, everyone in the world will be digging into it.
We'll
be covering Clan Carnage and our farewell to 1.0, as well as what we're excited about, what we've delved into and found out and said, oh my God, this is so cool. So,
duck, dip, dive, dodged, or dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Yeah.
So we'll have stuff. Don't worry. We'll have stuff in 2 weeks.
If you say so.
Yeah.
Bye.
If you would like to get a hold of us, you can reach us at our email address, which is rollingbadpodcast@gmail.com. We have a Twitter account for the podcast, and it is @rolling_bad. We also have a Facebook page, so just search Facebook for Rolling Bad. We have a Patreon page, and that is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. You can reach us at our individual Twitter accounts. Elric is at Elric Edge, and I am at Bill Costello, Castello. All of our guest hosts and any other products or places that we mentioned during the show will have their addresses listed in the show notes.